In this video lesson, I'm showing you how to add or subtract fractions with like denominators. Now, notice the term here is we're only adding or subtracting fractions with like denominators. So, in the first example, and adding or subtracting fractions with like denominators can be done easily. So let's say in this problem, how about we want to add the first two fractions to be added can be, how about 2/5 plus 1/5. And the reason I'm saying like denominators is just because if you check these two these two fractions right here, they are two different fractions, but they do have common denominator. They have like denominators. So to add the two fractions here, things can be done by just simply adding the two numerators. So my first numerator is a 2, my second numerator is a 1, and the problem here is an adding problem. So we just simply add 2 and 1, and then put it all over 5, because 5 is my like or my common denominator. So the final answer would be 2 plus 1 is 3 over 5, and that is how you add fractions with like denominator. So in another example, once again we can, how about a subtraction problem here? In example number 2, how about let's say we want to subtract, okay, and 7 minus 5 over 7. Okay, so once again, adding or subtracting fractions, as long as the denominators are common, as long as we're still having like denominators, which is true in this case, then adding or subtracting can be done easily by just simply subtracting the numerator. So here I have my numerators 4 and 5, so I'm subtracting 5 from 4. So I do 4 minus 5 and putting it all over 7. And once again, 7 is my common or my like denominator. So 4 minus 5 is a -1 and all over 7. So my final answer turns out to be a negative fractions, -1 over 7. Another example showing you how to add or subtract fractions. How about we try to add a positive fraction, say 10 over 16 plus, and then we try to add with a negative number, -3 over 16 for it. Right, so here's I have a fraction. So what I have here is a positive fraction 10 over 16, and I'm adding that to a negative fractions -3 over 16. But once again, what's the good thing? We're still having like denominator. So here in this problem, I want to add, and once again, what I can proceed, as long as the two fractions have like denominator, we're still good to go. So here, all I have to do is just add the two numerators. So I have 10 plus -3, and putting it all over 16. And here, 10 plus -3 is a positive 7 and over 16. And so this is my final fractions. 7 over 16 is the result of adding 10 over 16 to -3 over 16. Some more example to get you really comfortable with adding or subtracting fractions. Let's say, how about we, in this example number 4, this time how about we try to I'm skipping writing the title for the problem, but instead I'm going to jump straight into the problem itself. How about we have 15 over 16 minus, and here I have 3 over 16. for example. So here what I have is a fraction 15 over 16, and I'm subtracting a negative 3 over 16. Now, to help you think ahead a little bit, the truth about the negative 3 over 16 here is you can think of that as a negative 3 over 16. The negative in front of the fraction right here can belong to the numerator. And then here you have 15 over 16 minus that. So now as soon as you can see that the two fractions laid out carefully, then once again, as long as they have like denominator, things are still good to go for us here. I can simply do 15 minus negative 3 and then putting it all over a denominator 16. And so here what I have is 15 minus a negative 3, that gives me a 18, because that becomes 15 plus 3. And so I have 18 over 16. And all together, now make sure in any of the problem here, in the preceding examples, I did not mention, but because we didn't have to, but here, whenever you can reduce your fraction, always make sure you reduce your fraction in lowest term. So here, reducing my fraction to lowest term, that would give me 9 over 8, because I'm dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 2. And then a couple more examples here to get you really comfortable. So how about negative 7 over 12, and here we have plus 5 over 12. And once again, here I have a negative fraction. So I'm adding that to a positive fraction. But the good thing, it doesn't matter what the problem really is, but the good thing here is we still have like denominator throughout the two fractions. And so, to proceed with this addition problem, all I have to do is just simply look at my first numerator, negative 7, and I'm adding that to my second numerator, 5, and putting all of them over 12. And here, negative 7 plus 5 equals negative 2, all over 12. And once again, this final fraction of mine can be simplified further, can be reduced further. So that would turn into negative 1 over 6 after I simplify, after I reduce the fraction. And so that's how I add fraction with like denominator.